Good evening, everyone. I am Tamiko Leverett, and I am part of Facts to Thrive. And we are an organization that is here to provide information and support people growing with facts and understanding. And one of our programs is the Civil Liberties class to help people understand their government and their rights and how the process works in a little bit more detail than people explain. And so tonight we wanted to talk about are we as the residents, are we engaged? Even though we say we're engaged, we say we pay attention, how engaged are we really? And so we've started this off this month, and this is our fourth call. In the past three calls, we had a couple of topics. We opened up with asking everyone about their feedback on what kind of topics do they want to cover. Then we had a guest representative discuss the challenges of trying to get your name on a ballot and run for office. Then we had a guest speaker come and talk about being a lobbyist, as well as an attorney come in and give some points. And so we are wondering what are people doing on this call? When they leave this call, do they just listen in and then just move on, or is it engaging them to actually act and do something? So with that in mind, I'll hand it over to our partner in crime, Mr. Corey A. Reeves. Would you like to speak?
Well, yeah, one of the things is I got to get on my engagement and get this book order this week, as I was just reminded. And so, but we had my final GMA conference, as I'm like few classes away from certificate of dedication, which is the highest, which means you completed all the courses of GMA. So, as I was signing out today, I got my own lobbying to do, because for council emeritus, is you could only take the courses from city council or city manager, and you get the credit. I'm like literally less than a semester away, and I'm like, are we serious? So, however, that's something got to be a rule change that allow people in my position to finish what they started. As that, I I I, I really wanted that certificate of dedication, like going through all the training. So, and the legislative session, they ended the day with the legislative breakfast. And so, but that was my last one officially. And so it's, but however, got to my outro, got to introduce some people to some key folks that they're going to meet around in that corner in the future. And so they want to be engaged. I mean, the Georgia Municipal Association, uh, their bandwidth of know-how and the network is very vast. And so they have the entire state. So there's things that you can piggyback off of and enhance. Pretty much everything. Well, most things have been done in other cities as far as engaging. And like the purpose of this right here is to engage. Like if you got engaged to get married, is that a one side deal? As what is true process? As that's what really gets the things done. As once you understand the true process and engage in that, as they can't really pull the wool over your eyes too tough, because you're literally a part of what they're doing and able to speak intelligently about what they're doing. and all the whereas, thereas, foreas, all that's irrelevant. Is simple language, just in a unique type of way. But I know Samiko in general, I know she's engaged, been engaged, but like I don't know what happened to South Folsom University, right? There was a whole thing as what do they call it in Fulton County? Um, no,
There's a couple of things. For instance, Chandra Simmons and I, that we attended the environmental sustainability program that the city of Atlanta had and taught us about the different options. I think one of them was to tour the facility at Georgia Tech that I think Jane made it to one of those.
right, the Canita building.
Yes, that was great.
Right,
I
the
can't
Canita
remember
building.
who came to that one. We went on a tour to see what Cottage Homes was about in Decatur. I think Jane went to that one.
Yes, went to that too.
Well, Jane's been at pretty much everything.
That's right. If I know about it, I'm showing up.
I was like, dang it, I think Jane went to that one too. Let me see. Miss Karen has been to almost every event in the city. Well, in the district. I can't speak for the city, but she supported almost every event.
But not just that though, Karen is also taking people down to Montgomery to the museum down there, Slavery Museum.
She did just do that.
I think she's
All
offering
right
it.
now, Karen, I missed that. Okay, now wait a
Oh,
minute.
no worries. You catch the next one because she's gonna be starting off.
Okay.
Great idea.
We're going next week. We're going
Yeah,
next week.
yeah.
Next
Bam,
week
there it is.
when?
Are you, what day?
I haven't made up my mind.
Okay.
Oh, let
Haven't
me
made
know
up-
because my sister might. Okay, I want to take my sister too.
Now y'all gonna have to cover the cost of the rental van because her car, like, it might, I don't know if she got a big car, but you got a station
I
wagon?
do. I got it. No, I got a truck. I got a truck and a van.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. And I legit think that's an awesome idea. And
Yes.
for that because a lot of people don't even know, and it's what Montgomery's like a 2-hour trip. And anyway, it's just an awesome idea. And she's already done it, so I think that we should support her. You said next week because when next
Yes.
week? Well, you don't
I
have
got to make up my mind. I'm getting the people together. We've been talking about it, but I know this trip I want to go to Selma as well. So I want to go to the Legacy Museum. I want to go to the riverboat, and then we want to go to Selma.
Oh,
So
you
is that
doing
like
a
a
field
weekend
trip?
trip?
Huh?
Is this a weekend trip or a day trip?
It could be a day trip.
You said
We
the
want to
riverboat?
leave. Yeah, the riverboat is a block away. Remember the riverboat that the white people jumped on the black folks, and the black folks jumped back?
Oh, so we ain't our
Oh
ancestors.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's a block
Sure.
away from, yeah, it's a block away from the Legacy Museum. And I forgot the name of the church that's out there. They do it's King's Church too. And I think it's the Rock. We just want to go a few places, but I want to go to Selma because we found the 5 Passage when they did the march into Montgomery from the bridge from Selma.
Right.
So we just continuously learn all kind of wonderful, beautiful facts about Montgomery.
Oh, get it right. It's very, very rich in historical data, and it's very rich history.
So let's bring it back. and talk about, are we being engaged as a community? Is that Miss B? I hear
Oh,
somebody.
somebody need to turn that TV down, I think. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so the original conversation is, are we being engaged as residents in the community, or is this part of the core group who are engaged, and what is happening that people don't want to be engaged, and what do we consider being engaged? Does being engaged, so I was saying earlier, okay, so if we have a apathetic group of people and they just don't feel like that it matters until something happens directly to them, and then all of a sudden they all over it, and now they screaming, woe is me. But that's reactive, that's not proactive. And so when you have a set of people who are not really engaged, then does the bar become the fact that if you make it on to a community call count, even though you don't do anything from going to that community call, it's just you made it to the meeting? Does that count as being engaged, or should the meeting spur you to take action and do something from coming to that meeting? What do you think?
Well, can I piggyback off that, Tamiko, real quick? And so,
Yes.
as I'm a kind of rewind a little bit, and I'm just gonna say, the bar of engagement has been lowered. It has been said it's not risen higher; it's been set lower. As that's why I do think that what Karen is doing is taking people back, is understanding something. Because back then, the highest level of engagement we had from all community was and that was without technological advancement. Okay, and so as to get back to that level, because it's important to see people who have, that's what used to be. We fell off the map and understand something and stayed there. As we need to get back to, even if we get back to 50% of that, I think it will be beneficial in the communities. I mean, we have the Miss Johnsons, the Glenda Collins, the Chandras, the Karen, James, but is that all we got? As that's it is some people need to understand the past before progressing to the future. And a lot of people, that's why I think that what she's doing is important, because some people get motivated, like, man, they did all this. Is like, because some people just literally don't know, right? And so, as you gotta, as Gidimop said, you gotta get up, get out, and get something. In this place, you gotta get up, get out, and do something, right? And so, but it's the trifecta. So I as long as what you said too is important, is what do y'all want to get out of this? Because that's gonna be a key fact. As it's a progressive engagement. Let's not lose. Whatever.
Yeah, and for me, Tamiko, I don't feel like just because you get on a call that you're engaged. I think that, if you do go to meetings or get on a call, it should make you react to, do something or do something more, than just getting on a call. Because what are you learning or taking back to someone by that call? So I think you need to be doing more in the community if you're involved in the community. That's just me.
Hey, I agree with Ms. Williams. However, I think that what we should do when we get on these calls, we should decide what is the most pressing topic that we need to address initially. And to be honest with you, I honestly think it's getting people to register to vote, get some of these high schoolers. When I go to these schools to teach financial literacy, one of the things I'm doing it talking to these kids about voting. I'm not telling them who to vote for, but they need to start registering because, you know, the writing's on the wall. You know, historically, it's been hard to get Black men to get out there and vote. You know, the women's ain't that big an issue, but we need to really take advantage of informing these kids and so forth, and you know, and start creating a plan of action. See, people's are being a little too complacent. We can't use CPT time with voters in November. We can't wait because we got 10 months before the election and think everything gonna work out. We have to look at what's going on. That, you know, Biden has done a lot of good for society, but he don't go out and toot his horn. Well, you know, the Republican toot horns and half of the horn is not true. So we have to
That's right.
address that because people that hear that, they only believe what they hear, especially if they've been inundated by the media and all, and they don't know what's what. And a lot of these people that they got to understand too, if they voted, let's say I talked to some brothers recently, last time they voted was when Biden ran for president 4 years ago. Now, you know, if you're not voting regular and all,
So they probably dropped.
they'll drop your stuff. And then here they thinking, all we got to do is wait till early voting in October or November and go vote. And then they'll find out. They got
How
to
about March?
register. They got
How
to
about
register.
March?
Yeah, in March, exactly. They got to register. This is something that we need to, while we got this opportunity, and while we got 8, 10 of us on the call, we need to have directives to get into the community to talk to them about the importance of vote. Now with Corey Reeves, he has one exception. He need to read that book he's promised he was gonna buy. But outside of that, we gotta do that because you know what? If we don't do that, and the other 45 become president again, it ain't gonna help us much being parking lot complainers to sit out here and complain after the fact. Let's be proactive. Each and every one of us knows someone or a group of people that can truly make a difference. Jane Williams, you see what you got started, right?
Yes, sir. I see what I got started. I see. And it's a good thing too.
And what was the book that you want everybody to read again?
Turner Diaries. Turner Diaries by Robert Louis Pierce. The Turner Diaries.
Oh, the Turner.
And so let me just say this. And one of the connection points to the past of these young folks, I said, y'all have to take in mind and keep in mind, we read about the history, but most of these people who started with the movement were from 18 to 24. Like, I mean, so they was the people who stayed, they too woke to vote is the people who was fighting for it was y'all age, like literally. And so as to re-engage and maybe some people need, you know, is when you have a correlation and understanding that. I mean, because it literally affect, well, in the federal election, if you don't vote in 2 federal elections, they drop you from the road. So they don't vote in a presidential, but it's all those little other ones. Like we got a race coming up with the sheriff as the Fulton County Sheriff and facing many challenges. This affects the local economy, local politics, because their biggest issue right now is the jail. The overcrowding the jail. People dying at jail. There's a lot going on. But my thing is the city of South Fulton, we're required by charter to have a jail. We're in Fulton County. As those type of things that I know nobody want to talk about it, but it's required, it's needed. And so and that's opportunity. From, you know,
Is that a conversation of why the jails are overcrowded because the local cities are not having their own jails?
Right. And we're required by charter to have it.
And
You know?
not only that, it's because some of the crimes that people are being charged with, you know, they could give these people like a ticket or something, like marijuana. Let's just talk about a nickel bag of marijuana, okay? They could give these people a ticket instead of always want to lock everybody up. Yeah, everybody don't have to be locked up.
So
Everybody don't
let's
have to be
talk
locked
about
up.
that. Is that a case
Mhm.
of privatization of jails and how they make their money, and businesses that get paid for all the meals that they contract out to bring in, or jails that are now building stuff or working for private companies creating stuff, and you know maybe it's a
All the above. Hey, Merlin Knight,
Right.
how are you doing, sir? I see your name up there.
Mhm. Yeah, so that's right.
But
Tamiko,
I'm
that's right.
doing
All
well,
of the
brother
above.
Floyd.
Uh,
Merlin, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, you know, brother Merlin Knight is one of our board members over for the 100 now. You know, and I tell the whole world, that was one of the proudest votes I could make. So I
Hey,
couldn't
brother.
wait. Look, I was out of the country when I voted for him.
Hey, you don't have to get it. You don't have to tell me because he is Mr. South Fulton Chambers, as this brother is very rich pedigree, very engaging.
Oh,
As
who
right,
you
right.
telling? Who you
And
telling?
so I'm proud to call it, but my friend, get that Merlin, my phone so you gotta send me your I got get your number. I get it, just text you my number, man, because it's like I switch numbers. So, but however, is but this brother right here is the golf tournament every year, and so as anyway, he's Mr. South Fulton Chambers. I just say
I think he's Mr. Godsend, because not only does he do that, you guys are aware of that, but see, he's also pours into a lot of these kids all over the area, whether it's Fulton, Clayton, or what have you. So a guy like Merlin, you only see a certain amount and you say, wow, he does an overwhelming amount. But there's a lot that he do that you don't hear about.
oh, brother, get in. I said he has a rich pedigree. Is
Yes,
and
sir. Yes,
come
sir.
from good stock. Get in. He's been born and raised, and that's just who he is. And so is I and get this. The folks who do the most, they don't need no camera. They get this. You just go do it because you love doing it. And pouring
Exactly.
into folks is giving them an idea of what opportunity looks like outside of regular what people want to go into, as they have a need to fulfill the needs. You don't have to go into sports to be, you know, productive in society or earn a great living. So, but anyway, enough to talk about that. But
Yeah.
man, go ahead and say what you're gonna say, Merlin. Is like you on the phone, brother. Thanks
Well,
for joining.
thank you again, brother Floyd, and Councilman Reeves as well. And good evening to everyone that's been on the call thus far. I don't take it lightly that we do what we do, and the work is always done in small cycles. Unfortunately, we did still need to figure out how to get the masses on the board, and it goes back to starting with our children in elementary school. Unfortunately, we have a lost group of folks that still will not get it, no matter how we drive them to the poll, walk them to the poll, and hold their hand inside the poll booth. They're still not going to get it because they're not being educated on an earlier basis. The sooner we can go back to giving them basic information at an early age and continue to engage them and show them, we will still we will remain behind the eight ball. Hence the reason why your prisons are already privatized, so that they are a money maker. I mean, it just there's no other way of saying it. It's privatized for a reason, because we're ill informed of what we should be doing.
Hey, you guys remember Barker on The Price is Right?
mm-hmm.
He made millions of dollars selling toilet paper to the prison system. That's where he made most of his money.
and understand something. And we down here needing a, first of all, one of the things we have to have it, right? And so what I'm saying is, it's everything that goes into it. But why can't we also have them a different opportunity as far as what they intake? Because you can like have a, we can have them have a garden out there, so people ain't gonna be there forever. They'll have something to come out, but also too is what they, intake, not just in the system, but into their own system. And, you can call her. And so it's but I think that we have the unique opportunity of how we set it up, and then how we get into that network on, if it's got to be done, why can't we be providing what is needed? But that's engaging community, one through a workforce deal, and then two through your economic development.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
well, all I know is that the prison system is a multi-billion-dollar operation. That's what I know. They out there making all this money on, slave. Well, if you look at it like that, it is. It's
What
like
it is.
manual. That's it. It's manual labor, manual slavery. So, we got to come against a lot of that stuff. See, today, back in the day, when there used to be some issues and problems and stuff, people used to march, and today we don't protest a lot of stuff, because I guess people are saying that, we shouldn't be protesting and all that kind of stuff, but we got to get back to some of the things that used to work. And right now we're gonna got too comfortable with stuff the way it is. So, we got to get with some of them like-minded people and, figure out some things, how to make them work. Things that we don't like and stuff. And, and sometimes that means stop putting some of the same people back in office. They ain't doing nothing.
I mean, legit. And then I'm going to just also say this, as I'm going to say this with everything, and I stand behind it. Until we get to the point of growing our economics, we're not going to move the needle forward. And from manufacturing to small business development, get this, is why can't we be the supplier?
Exactly.
All I'm going to say is this. When people say, oh, it's a majority black city, get this. I won't say that until we have the majority of the contracts. As how can you not go with best value? And here's how they do it. You piggyback on stuff that just, I understand something, is when people live in this city and can provide the same exact thing at a cost savings, you know what? Until we grow our economics, it's going to be a hard recruiting, because even like King, even in his last days, is when they started. You saw how the power, when they just withdrew their support of buying certain products, you just see what can happen. So when people talk about the dream, kumbaya, all that stuff is great, but look here, I'm saying something. What contracts are you gonna give over there? Because y'all in control of it. Anyway, but I'm just gonna say, as we have to grow our economics. That's right. The only way we're going to be able to make things happen. And understand something, the federal government gives you a way to do it. But just research Section 3. And then in all the housing and HUD projects, all the workforce housing, everything else, and anything HUD subsidizes, understand what Section 3 is and does for the local community and local community economics. That's all you got to do. And it's very interesting as the knowledge.
You had a comment you wanted to make?
Who'd you call on, Tamika?
I was Miss Glenda Collins. Did you have a comment you
Miss
wanted to
Collins.
make?
Hey, Miss Collins.
Hey, hold on a minute.
Like Miss Collins, her house and her land out there could be used for filming. Anybody doing a film? It's like, here, let's go down to the trail ride and go down to the hoedown and, do the movie.
Miss Johnson, did you have a comment you wanted to make? Miss Pierre?
No, I don't have anything to comment on.
Hey, Miss Johnson.
No comment from me either. Just listening.
But
Right.
see, thing, what is it? Okay, so we've had a conversation in here where we say, invite a friend, invite a neighbor. What happens when you invited your friend or neighbor to come on the call? What happened? Anybody?
That's what you see tonight. They didn't show up.
What did they say to you when you told them that they should get on the call?
They said, okay,
They just didn't come.
they didn't come. You send them the email to not the email, you text it to them and they don't do it. Just like at the neighborhood meeting, you send out these emails to them and you might get our last HOA meeting, which was last month. We had about 8 people sitting up in there. They just don't come.
How many people, how many houses are in the HOA?
500.
So 8 out of 500 showed up, paid attention, and now let something happen.
Oh,
and
yes,
how many
something
people you think will
happens.
show up there?
Then they come and complain. And then once we fix it for them, try to fix it for them, then they don't come back.
And get that, it is thankless job all the way around. And then they act like you ain't never did nothing for them. And so,
okay. Go ahead.
But let me ask you this, since we're all here, is because I was talking to Tamika, it's like, some people may want to get in person, like, and so as I'm one of these people who know COVID's still real and know people it's a lot of things that's changed. But however, I do know that things you can meet in person, but not like all the time. But like an activity of not just about talking about this, but like going bowling or something like that, or just building a network of you doing things. You're talking about business, but you still have camaraderie and then go have some fun, drinks, pizza, whatever it is you want to do. But as a group, in other words, don't talk shop, just have fun. And just be an environment around like-minded people having fun. And so that's something what do y'all think about that? Is because something sparks people from going somewhere and doing something and getting engaged, and some people just don't like getting on the phone.
Well, I don't know.
Just don't want to do nothing.
I don't know. Guess what? We provided tickets just to go to the movies, and half of them didn't show up.
That was fun.
Right, get that. And I'm just saying, like, and they signed up for it, and other people wanted to come.
Right, we begged them, please don't take the tickets if you're not gonna come, because we got people tickets.
And see, and that's kind of unfortunate, right? And so, but you know what? Like a Skyhawks game. Any of y'all been to that?
Yeah,
I have.
Are the meetings being recorded to be put on YouTube?
Absolutely.
Yes, they're under Facts of Thrive's YouTube now.
Okay. The information that I get from the meetings, I'm always sharing, but you know what to do. And I was at work or I'm on the road during the meeting. So a lot of people that I know same thing. They're at work. Sometimes they're not able to get on a call, not that they don't want the information or they don't want to participate.
Oh, well, one thing is
So,
we know powerful information is get it's informative information, it's educational information. So that's why we share it. It's like that. But I'm talking about, there's more people that watch it on the tube, but it's you know, but however, like it's still like just getting together as a group and going to do something just I- but like Tamika is right. Like if you're not gonna come, don't sign up. If get it, even if you were if, right, don't sign up because there's other people want to be there. We be like, we're out. And then there's a missed opportunity for somebody else who would have been there.
Mm-hmm.
And we literally watch people go to the counter and pay to buy tickets. And even with that short notice that you couldn't have gotten anybody to get up there, we could have given those tickets away. But we think you're on the way, so we couldn't do it. So it's not necessarily always in the realm of something serious in detail, because that was just the color purple, and that was opening day, that was Christmas tickets. You know, what does it take for people to get engaged when it's to be proactive and not reactive? Because coming to the HOA meetings once something happened is still reactive. The 8 coming was proactive. So as a culture, what do we think has happened? Is it because do we get to say because we busy that we just don't have enough time?
Well, they
I
have
believe
time to fix their
what
problem.
Jane said. I believe what Jane said earlier is that the information is there. We make where we tend to show up when it's only benefiting us. So or more so it doesn't affect us until that time comes. So just like you have your next door, I think it's a next door neighbor app that's out there. Who really responds to that? They'll go out there and search the web, but will they do anything with it? Back to Ms. Stovall, you say your friends, or you send the information out to them because they're busy going here and going there. Okay, once they get the information, is there a follow up to it? Do they do anything with it? Do they have a conversation with you? Where do you all go from there? Other than they now have information, but what are they doing with that information?
most definitely, there's always follow up and touching bases. Always, the insurance information that we got last week was like invaluable. So yeah.
Does anybody remember what the assignment was from that? The insurance? What was the assignment from that? Did you go use it? Did anybody go home and follow up on their insurance from what he talked about?
Oh yeah, I already knew about my insurance, about the declaration page, and about if you have the uninsured motorist stuff. Yeah.
If it was an add-on or take away.
Right.
Yeah. I already knew that.
And then I also got that insurance too, like when you buy your car, and then like even if your insurance don't cover it, you have that gap insurance. I think they call it gap.
It's gap.
Yeah. So yeah,
So
so I already knew that.
So, Mr. Knight, then that begs to the question of, is there more need for those who are engaged? Is there some kind of coaching and training that they need to help engage those who don't get it?
I think we have to continue sounding the alarm on a regular basis everywhere we go. And since when I talk about the chamber, it's always about the way we work from the inside out, not the outside in. And so you start indoctrinating folks to understand, hey, you got to be on the front line with us in order for it to happen. It cannot happen. We only do it once every quarter, once every blue moon. It won't sustain and won't give the impact that it really needs. Goes back to voting and educating our kids. Hey guys, you got to understand and read this. Don't believe everything that's on the internet. Show up and find out for yourself. So you gotta get up. We've got to get back to the basis of showing up and not relying on a Zoom call or relying on someone to send us a text message, because we do not get the information or feel the impact that is truly needed.
Okay, so let's back that all the way up. What about how back in the day you used to go to each other's house, your family house, your grandparents' house, you used to have dinners together and you talked about stuff. Do you think that's a breakdown where it may have happened, is we don't do that anymore like we used to?
We do not. We do not. And we only do that in cycles. The more you engage, like between yourself, Jane, and others, I know the names, I know the faces. Get a phone call, say, hey, meet me here. We're going to meet there and have a piece of pizza, a slice of pizza, or we're going to have an adult beverage, whatever the case may be. Or it could be just hey, just come over here, let's have a conversation. The more we get back to small group sessions of mingling with each other, that will then foster the effort to move further and further out to the mass. So you've got to go back to those round tables.
It's
So
just
maybe
like
that's
two.
one thing. Find it.
Can I say something? Well, you know, since COVID, families just don't get around those round tables no more. People just don't gather, nor I guess like the HOA.
I beg to differ, because the fact they go to the mall, they go everywhere else, they go to the
That's
club,
true.
they go to the strip
That's
club,
true.
they go
That's
wherever they
true.
want to go. They use COVID as an excuse.
Yes,
COVID
I
is an
agree with you.
excuse.
They
So
use them in the mall, grocery stores, and all those
so
places.
they gather when they want to gather.
Well, that's just passing each other. They're not always gathering
No.
together.
They're at the club together. They're at the club together. I mean, who else is on the strip club popping bottles? Those guys are in the club. Period. They are where they want to be. They're using COVID as an excuse not to show up.
And let me just say this: more strippers switched to the day shift when COVID happened. So that was, and they come day COVID. And get there, and they up in there now. As I understand, so they switched from night shift to day shift because they earn more money. And I just the facts that somebody told me is I don't know.
This meeting that went left.
I'm just saying, but that's a true statement.
Yeah.
So do we need to teach
COVID is just an excuse. If we can find an excuse for everything, then there'll be no reason for us to exist.
So do we need to teach the strippers?
It is.
Well, my question is, make sure they are voting. No, of course they're voting age, but are they utilizing their actual right to vote? Because too many have died for us to have that ability, and yet they're sitting on the sideline saying, "Woe is me."
But then
is that the marketing we need to put out?
And so this local engagement is very key. And piggyback off that what Merlin said, because he does something that they still use over at the I think they met at the semester, and just what did you call that, Merlin?
The one after hours, business after hours.
Business after hours, but we did at the hotel, like at the semester, the mixer or whatever you called it.
That's isn't that coming up this week?
No, we actually had one a couple weeks ago. What we do have coming up will be this small business roundtable at the Coca-Cola facility on Mason Road.
Okay, cool.
When is
it? But I did talk to Miko, and she's educating me how to use Canva. And so, because one of the things that we can do is send things out during the week as just a minor or whatever it was recaps,
Mhm.
and for it to be sent out as well, and might just highlight this in case you missed it or whatever. But you know, I'm not gonna put the burden on her to try, but she's gotta. So I'm learning how to use Canva. As it's a very engaging tool, but it's user friendly from what they tell me. So we're gonna find out. And so, which, but so that we can do more of that follow up during the weeks, as just a little reminder or something of that nature. Just so y'all, to people y'all engaged, that there's something coming out too. But like I want to do something as well as in person, as we can go just visit local owned spots by people, you know, who here. Maryland got the great vast of information on that. The gala. What is that going to be this year?
Not sure. That has not been solidified.
I never knew about the gala. Never.
The chamber has been around 77 years.
No.
I never knew. I think I went one time.
Sat on the board, but it looks like he off the call.
Oh,
Yes,
you're
yeah,
talking
the
about, I'm sorry for the 100 Black Men. That's going to be April 26th at the Omni Hotel downtown.
Right. But
yeah, April 26th.
His organization.
Oh, his or
I think
that
it's
one I'm not sure. Brother Floyd would have to answer that one. I thought you were speaking of the one first. I thought you were speaking of the chamber, which has not been solidified, and then the other would be that of our upcoming South Metro chapter of the 100 Black Men Gala is April 26th at Omni Hotel.
Right, I'll be there, and so as we have we have well, we'll wait till we get some more news on that before April, and so, but I also do want to take this time to plug Mandisha A. Thomas, as she will be running for Congress, District 6, the newly district woman. Know that district, and the entire South Fulton is in it. We do know Mandisha Thomas, but there's other people in the race, but the only person I know in the race is Mandisha A. Thomas, and I'm just giving my little plug on that.
Right. Yeah, I brought her name up a few weeks ago.
Right. So, anyway, go ahead. Because it is now this specific engagement at the grassroots level, because we're gonna need all that. We're gonna need everybody's participation. It is, and that is a thing. So, go ahead.
Miss Pierre posted, what about celebrity engagement? Now, Miss Pierre, I thought about this the other day while I was driving. You know, all these entertainers, athletes, people with money are wearing all these clothes that belong to people who are not us. And we have us designers. And I said, now we got 365 days in a year. What if they just wore a different brand every day? How many people's business of color would just grow from one athlete or artist wearing somebody else's clothes
expeditiously, without a doubt? Without a doubt, they would grow because we have so many that are following on social media and watching what they are wearing. So yes, it definitely would benefit those small business. Small business owners that are growing into larger brick and mortars.
And that's what I was like, they don't get every item they wear, they're not on contract to wear. So if you don't have a contract, you could wear whatever you want.
Right.
So who said Marc Jacobs or Hilfiger or whoever got to be the label? Because if we are the brand, we the group that buys the most, why aren't we promoting our own stuff and making our own people millionaires? I was like, why don't nobody ever ask them that?
It's a crab in the barrel effect. They want it, but they don't want you to have it, or they'll see you as being better than they are, and that is so incorrect.
I'm just saying, you got, even if you didn't do it every day, if you just did it once a day. So let's just say if a Beyonce just wore, since she don't only wear her clothes, if she wore somebody else's clothes and nobody it was,
Throw it in here. Throw it in here.
happened.
I got another package. Yeah, that's another package. We'll bring it here.
What would happen? I mean, you can't tell me that. You know, why are we not having that conversation of influence with our celebrities? Like Miss Pierre is saying, why? I mean, I've seen Cardi B get out there and be engaged about going to vote or talking about topics. And that's somebody who people thought would not be the one who is from the world of starting out as a stripper, but that still didn't get everybody out there. So I just think we're in a place of at least we willing to put it on the table that something is wrong. Because I think that's the first part of the problem is if we don't say and call it, how can you fix it? So I appreciate all of you for coming on tonight and talking about what's going on. And this is not a one-time conversation. I did try to look while we were on here on how to buy the Turner Diary book, and it is not coming up. So that's an underground.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I was gonna try to do bookstore because remember, that's what I thought because they said Amazon stopped selling it, and then they got some white guys the name of it when you put it in the author. I said I don't think that was it, and so
probably some excerpts. But guess what? I wonder, do our library do it? When's the last time we
find
book?
it.
Not for purchase or audio. So I'm sure it's at certain conventions.
or the Madu bookstore at Greenbrier Mall is deep. You know what I mean? It could be there. That's why I said that. Right, that's right.
Yeah.
It was I had to go check.
So what is our assignment for tonight before we go? What do you want us to do to be engaged in the community between now and next week?
Where the Turner Diaries is. Let's go find out where we can get that book.
So everybody's assignment is how we can, where can we find this book?
I tried to send a text message to Brother Floyd to ask him.
No, he has a copy.
Right, but for us to be able to locate the copy, find out where he purchased the book from.
See, he being a cheater.
So
Hey, okay, can y'all give me the exact name of the book? I'm a little
I posted it in the
okay,
chat.
good, in the chat. Okay,
but I'll
great.
post it again if
no, that's okay. Let me see. I should be able to find it. Let me see.
Was that it should be at the beginning.
Oh, at the beginning. Okay. No, okay. Oh, Turner Diaries. Okay, I think I wrote that down before. The Turner Diaries.
All righty.
Okay, very good.
All right, so I think we should make it a contest. Whoever gets the copy of the book next week will be in for a prize.
Okay.
All righty. So we'll see who ends up tracking down this book by next week.
Okay.
Any last comments before we go?
Remember one thing, people: be encouraged. Hey, be insightful, and understand something. Your economics is what's going to drive you out of anything that you in. Because Georgia Power got to be paid, Gas South got to be paid, and you have extra money out there to go spend because you don't work. So, as opportunity, you can still have a job, but still don't negate what's in you as a passion that can turn into a career opportunity that you're just doing what you love. And there's things and avenues and resources that's out there that matches what you want to do. And you just got to go look, hunt, and that's what we all too is here for, is to network within that, we come across something that fits into that category, definitely share it as caring.
Right,
And that's my
right, right. Yeah.
Well, sharing
Okay,
certainly is
yeah.
caring. So it's good to hear everyone's
Mhm.
voice.
Yes, let's make a coffee date with some people too. Alrighty, so, or some
Sounds
eat date, something,
good.
get together as, Mr. Knight gave us as an assignment. So we'll see who got in touch with who in person and had conversation, who were able to, track down this book
Mm-hmm.
and, don't forget to pay your whole life insurance premiums in order to control your future.
Right.
Alrighty, and Ms.
Mhm.
Pierre, you will have to ask the new council person what's going on with the abandoned church on Flat Shoals. And see if they'll give you an answer.
Oh no, it's gonna be the church. They got it for the we approved that to get I don't know what's the holdup or what. They got to build out. But let me just tell you something. As before they even get it to use, they have a environmental factor in it that they need to remediate it. And that's kind of costly. So maybe they knew about it, or maybe they didn't. But so but as Smiko said, the follow up on what are they doing, the status of it, on where it's at in that stage. I'm council emeritus.
Mhm. Alrighty, same bat time, same
Okay.
bat. We will talk next week and we will post our speaker early so you can post it on your social media. Alrighty, let's see
Sounds
if that
good.
makes.
Good to see everybody.
Alrighty, have a good evening.
Bro,
All right. Thank you all.
What's that?
I sent you a message.